King Jehoshaphat's death would lead to a long period of chaos and disorder, as all his descendants up to King Jehoash failed God. This series of bad kings would be disastrous for both Judah and especially Israel, to the point that the house of David was almost wiped out in one day by a commander called Jehu. That's right, in one day. This was after Jehu got the anointing from a servant of the prophet Elisha to take the throne of Israel, setting the stage for revolution. The king of Israel was Joram and the king of Judah was Ahaziah. At the time of Jehu's rebellion, Joram, the king of Israel, was in poor shape. He was in need of nursing after being wounded in a battle with the king of Syria. As relations between him and King Ahaziah were good, Ahaziah decided to go pay him a visit and show him some love. This is when Commander Jehu struck. He marched towards Jezreel, where both kings were. After seeing two of their messengers defect to Jehu, King Joram and King Ahaziah went out, personally, to meet the rebel commander. 2 Kings 9 verses 22-24. And when Joram saw Jehu, he said, "Is it peace, Jehu?" He answered, "What peace can there be, so long as the harlotries and the sorceries of your mother Jezebel are so many?" Then Joram reined about and fled, saying to Ahaziah, "Treachery, O Ahaziah." Jehu personally killed King Joram and ordered his accomplice King Ahaziah to be shot with an arrow. They both died of their injuries. If it wasn't for the heroics of one of the royals called Jehoshaphat, who saved her nephew called Jehoash after the coup, then the males in Jerusalem would have been certainly looking at the end of the dynasty in Israel. Jehoshaphat was King Joram's daughter, yet also sister of King Ahaziah. Jehoshaphat saved Jehoash from certain death because of what happened to the rest of the royal family in the nation of Israel. After King Ahaziah was killed, his mother Athaliah reigned terror on the entire royal family in Israel, killing every one of them except Jehoash, who Jehoshaphat hid for 6 years. In the 7th year, though, the priest called Jehoiada arranged for the land to reverse the results of the coup. He showed the guards that the king's son was still alive and put them under oath in the temple. He then told them how to protect the king as he made the proclamation. When the time came, they did so. As they did so, they clapped and said, "Long live the king," along with the people. Athaliah heard the noise and went to see what was happening. She saw the king standing by the customary pillar and knew her end was nigh. After cries of treason, the guards took her and killed her. And so began the reign of Jehoash at the age of 7. Now, while Jehoiada was alive, Jehoash would excel and do good. He restored the treasures of the temple of God after they had been pillaged by Athaliah. However, when the priest Jehoiada died, the king began to associate with the princes of Judah and began to serve idols. This trend of good to bad relations would continue with his descendant, namely King Amaziah. God, mercifully, then tried to send prophets, including Zechariah, the son of his mentor Jehoiada, to get him to turn from his waywardness, but he wouldn't listen. Jehoash lost the plot so much that he even had Zechariah stoned to death. Wow! No sense of appreciation for what the man's father did to make him king. King Jehoash would not outlive Zechariah for long, though, for he would die by the end of that year. That great nemesis, the king of Syria, marched against Judah. King Jehoash was wounded in the battle and later died in bed by assassination. His servants remembered what he did to Jehoiada's son, Zechariah, and took his life as he lay wounded. King Jehoash is really a sad story of a king who was delivered from death but failed to deliver others from it when he could. His failure to rule justly was not unqualified. His initial restoration of the temple after the 6 years of neglect only to then disregard it again leaves a deep regretful feeling about his efforts. However, his restoration of the temple at such a young age is exemplary after so many of his forerunners had done damage to the office of the king. However flawed, his reign was a massive improvement from the extremes of his predecessors.